So, welcome to the first real day of yoga. Last week was not real yoga, right? So when we start yoga, we need to understand that when you start studying yoga, it's not just about the body. There are 4 paths to yoga, and we here in this class will cover every single one of those paths. So let's say you go to India, and you say you want to be a yogini or a yogi, and you want to be a guru, and you want to go over there and you want to master this thing called yoga, right? You have to take these 4 paths. You must study the 4 paths of yoga. The first one is karma yoga. It's the active path, right? It's where you take action. It's where you work from the inside out. It's where you take a look to see what kind of a person are you inside, and are you good enough inside, and if not, we need to change it. You begin by doing what we call karma yoga, selfless service. The reason that we do selfless service is to serve others and not ourselves. So often what happens is that all of us here are very, very capable of serving others, but are guilty of the fact that we only serve ourselves, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Right? And so we have to take a look at that, because let me give you an example. And nobody has to raise their hands on this one, but how many times, really, truly, if you're really, really honest with yourself, have you given a compliment, a gift, or something to somebody with the expectation that you get it back? Whether you want to get a thank you back, whether you want to get a smile back, how many times don't you smile at somebody and you want them to smile back at you? That's giving with an intent to receive. That is not karma yoga. Selfless service is when you do something regardless of whether you get something back. And that's a path you have to learn. Everybody here has a mom and a dad, and I guarantee you, many times you guys have cleaned your room, washed the dishes, washed the car, done something with the expectation that your mom or your dad was going to give you something back. Yes or no? Yes. So supposedly you did something real good. I'm going to wash the dishes, and then my mom will give me $25. But you did it not because of selfless service, but because you knew you were going to get something back. Even though what you did was good, you're still expecting something back. That is not karma yoga. Does that make sense? And we live our lives too often not in service of others, but expecting something back. And you have to look inside and say, if that's what I've been doing, then I need to change that. Because everything that you do should be done in a selfless way. Every smile you give. So what if they don't smile back? You don't know what's going on in their life. You have no clue. You give a smile not expecting one back in return. That is karma yoga. You give a compliment to somebody not expecting it back. That is karma yoga. You help somebody across the street just because. That is karma yoga. How many times have you guys not gone into class? And see, fear keeps us from karma yoga. You've gone into class, and maybe the instructor, who's human just like you, because I'm just human and I'm not perfect. I'm human. Something will be falling on my hands, and you guys sit there and watch. Oops, something fell. Instead of getting up and going to pick it up and just giving it to that person. No, why? Because we're too afraid. Oh, I'm not going to do that because whatever, right? So sometimes fear, when we allow our fears to take us over, when we work from our fears, we're working from our lower chakras, it keeps us from doing what we want and doing what is right. And sometimes we have to take a look at that. So karma yoga is when you work on yourself at a spiritual level. Right? When you stay up all night, who here is a mom and has a small child? How many times have you not stayed up all night long because the child was ill? Regardless, without expecting anything in return, without expecting the child to kiss you, to say, thank you, Mommy, you do it selfishly, yes or no? Yes. That is karma yoga. When you do something without expecting anything in return. But what happens is when we then when we get smart, usually around the age of 6, now we begin to do stuff for return. For return, right? How many times have you not said, and I've heard it over and over in the halls, I'm going to do this so she can do that. I'm going to do this so that he can do that. I'm going to do this so I'm going to say this and that way she'll. Always expecting something in return. But yoga teaches us to do everything in our life without an expectation. If you are acting based on that, then you are in what we call karma yoga, right? Let me give you another example. I volunteer four times out of the year to serve as a volunteer at different events. I give monthly. Monthly, I give money to many charities without expecting anything in return. That is service. That is karma yoga, right? It's when you don't expect something in return. When you help a buddy to fix his tire. When you help a girl, another friend to wash their car without expecting anything. Right? Without expecting anything. That's karma yoga. That must be incorporated in our yoga. Next is Jnana yoga, number 2, the philosophical path. It talks about the mind. And we're going to talk a lot about the mind because your mind, a mind left to its own devices will ruin you because you allow thoughts to run away. How many of you guys would say that you worry? Anybody? No? I have only calm people here? Right. So, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like this. Inside your head. Oh my God, I better not do. Oh my God, she found out about that. Oh my God, what if she hates me? Oh my God, no, she's going to tell so-and-so. Oh my God, if she tells so-and-so that he will do this. And oh my God, and then if he does that, I can't even, oh, I'm not going to be able to face them. Oh my God, I don't know. Yes or no? Yes. One thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And by the time you're done, you're already in a panic attack or an anxiety and you can't sleep. And forget that, right? So that's anxiety. So that comes from our mental state. That comes from us thinking, right? So what we do in yoga is we realize that the mind is very powerful and we must direct it, right? I don't really think that there will be a time where you can actually control the mind, but you can harness it and direct it. Because a mind left to its own devices will ruin you. Let me give you an example. I tell you, go apply so-and-so. Oh no, I better not. No, they probably won't hire me. No, they're probably looking for somebody else. They're probably looking for somebody who's taller. They're probably looking for somebody who's older. Maybe they're looking for somebody with more, oh no, I can't do that. And so then what happens? You don't go and apply, and you've talked yourself out of it. You've sold yourself on the fact that you should not apply. Man, we are the greatest salespeople on the face of the earth. we sell ourselves every single day. I love it when people